Okay, so the date is August 30th, 2023. It is the last supermoon of this year. The next full moon that I will be doing a reading will be on the Hunter's Moon in October. In between now and then, I will be placing small videos together. I was quite surprised to get as many requests as I did for particular types of things on spells, rituals, protection jars, and other types of jars, which I won't mention. Tonight is a little eerie because of the fact that it is a supermoon, and right now it is shrouded in clouds and stuff because of the hurricane that is coming in. I have enclosed everything with a lot more quartz for protection. I am burning nothing but black and white candles for positive energy and to draw away negative energy. We are going to find out if anything has changed in the definitions of Julian Sands, what they are going to do about the bodies that are still on Mount Baldy. We are going to find out if the hikers who have changed their story 6 times were telling the truth on any of those times, or if they were paid to do this. Luckily, there have been no more clickbait photos, but we do have some questions about some statements that were made about Julian's body actually being found 100 yards from the summit, when it was reported that he was 10 miles southwest. So he was below that summit. And 10 miles may not seem like a lot, but it is for this situation. So we're going to get started. I am using a longer one. This camera should do better because I eventually broke down and bought a new phone. Wasn't happy about it, but I did. So, can you tell me which way is yes? And it's going in the right direction. Thank you. Can you tell me which way is no? As you can see, it's swinging back and forth. Thank you. Can you tell me which direction is maybe? And it is going in a clockwise circle, which is correct. Thank you. Can you tell me which direction is ask again, or possibly and as you can see, it is going in a counterclockwise position. Thank you. Do I have a spirit inside this pendulum? Thank you. Are you a male? The answer is yes. Are you a young spirit Are you an old spirit? Yes. Do you want to tell me your name? No. And the reason it said no is because I already know what's in it. Don't I? And he won't go home. So, we're going to ask the first question. As you can see, my fingers are out of the way. The ball is between the thumb and the index finger. First, is the information on the actor Julian Sands still incorrect? The answer is yes. Thank you. Were the remains that they found on June 24th the remains of another person? The answer is yes. Did the hikers find these remains by chance? No. Thank you. Were they told where to go to find these remains? Yes. Were they paid to do this? Yes. Are any of the stories they told true? No. The sheriff has asked for more help so that he can reclaim a lot of the bodies on Mount Baldy. Does he have the intention of doing so? No. Thank you. Is he going to leave the remains where they are? Yes. Thank you. Are there more than 1,000 remains on that mountain? Yes. Are there murder victims on that mountain? The answer is yes. Would you say more than half are murder victims? No. Would it be less than half? Yes. Now, this will be the next set of questions. There was an interview done, I will not give her name, where she talked about Julian. In the article, it states that Henry went back to Mount Baldy, and when he reached the summit, he found close to 1,000 people there getting ready to do a rescue. Is that true? No. It was stated that his remains were actually 100 yards from the summit. Is that statement true? No. Were the remains that were 10 miles southwest of the summit, were those his remains? No. Was there a wallet found with the remains? Yes. Did the identification give the name Julian Sands? Yes. Had the actor Julian Sands' missing phone been placed with those remains? Yes. Was there any part of the remains that were identifiable? No. Did they run any type of DNA? No. Did they do a dental record check? No. Was it a full body? No. Was it just a few remains? Yes. Thank you. Did Julian Sands get off that mountain safely? Yes. Thank you. Is there a reason for what he did? Yes. Is Mr. Sands in this country? No. Did he confide in any of his friends? No. Thank you. Was Mr. Sands being forced into something that he did not want to do? Yes. Okay, thank you. I will not take it any further than that on those questionings because I do not want to know what the situation was. There was a statement made that they have already had one service for Julian. Is that true? Okay, that's a yes. Were the remains cremated? Yes. Was that to keep the identification quiet? Yes. Thank you. Will there be 2 more services performed for Julian? That was kind of a maybe yes answer. Will there be a service held in Los Angeles? Another yes, maybe answer. Is Julian safe where he is now? Yes. Now, there were a few questions that people wanted to know, and some were kind of cute, but it kind of revolves around the movie Warlock. And they wanted to know if by chance was Julian a warlock or a witch, whichever you want to call it. Is or was, no, is, sounds better. Is Julian Sands actually a warlock or witch? Yes. Has he known it his whole life? Maybe. I actually need a clear answer. Do you understand? Do you? Has he known it his whole life? Yes. Thank you. Does his family come from old magic? Yes. Did he have family in the burning times? Yes. Thank you. Were they executed? Yes. Was it kept a family secret? Yes. Is Julian practicing an old magic known as absolution magic? Yes. Is he trying to bind people together for a reason? Yes. Do you know what that reason is? No. Thank you. Will we ever see Julian Sands as we once saw him? No. Has he totally changed his appearance? Yes. According to authorities, no backpack has ever been found. Is that correct? Yes. Thank you. Is his hiking pack with him? That was a possibly yes answer. Thank you. Julian Sands has several movies that are supposed to come out. Will they release those movies? Yes. Has he been in contact with any of his siblings or his children? No. So, unfortunately, people have lied. The sheriff, even though he asked for more help to take care of these bodies, he has no intentions of doing, even though they have an $800 million budget. He has no intentions of hiring anybody else. So these bodies, these poor people, will probably remain there for another eternity. The stories that are being told by certain people are not true. His remains were not found 100 yards from the summit, and the remains that were found 10 miles southwest were not his. The body was not recognizable, and the wallet and the phone had been placed there. Where he's at is yet to be revealed. We know that he is what some people want him to know, a witch or a warlock, whatever they call him. He comes from a long line of them. He had family executed during the burning times. And for people who do not know what the burning times were, it was a massive, hysterical witch hunt that started everything. And I would suggest that you read up on it. It is a very sad, horrific story. So many people were brutally murdered and burned over nothing, for being maybe a midwife or a person that would gather herbs and crush them to make medicines for the common toothache or a cold. It's a very horrible time, which led to more and more of these types of things being done. Most of us are descendants from those people. We may not know it because they don't have an accurate account of names. So Those people may not be in your family trees. Uh, it's just a very sad time in human life. I have seen so much garbage written on the internet about witches being evil, but witches have a code of honor that they live by, and that is to do no harm to any living being, be it human or animal. If you see someone who says they are a witch and they are doing bodily harm, I suggest you run. You are not dealing with what you think you are dealing with. You are dealing with a very satanic, demonic person. And they can be quite literally a danger, not only to you, but your family as well. I suggest that whatever religion you are, that if you are one of these people who are saying things like these, to please stop. It's not fair and it's not right. It is appalling at what people will say about another human being. They don't care about the truth or who they hurt. We see that every day now in this world. And it's a very sad situation. So, I have a few more questions to ask. You know that our shaman has been very sick. Will she be coming home soon? My other ladies, who I love very much, will they begin to start growing with this new type of magic, this absolution magic? Yes. And once again, I want to reiterate, is there such a thing as absolution magic? Yes. Is it an old magic? Yes. Is it something that is taught to you from your ancestors? Yes. Is it used to bind and bond others together with the caster? I was told from a very, very dear friend who is very old that this type of magic is like a transfusion without blood. Is that correct? Yes. Will the magic keep generating through those until it is fully mixed up with all of us? Maybe. Will there be some who might not be able to accept this type of magic at this time? Yes. Will it eventually happen? Yes. Why are you crying? Are you scared? Are you afraid I'm going to make you go home? Didn't I tell you you could stay as long as you behaved? And are you behaving? Then there is no reason for you to cry, correct? You put yourself in this position, not me, correct? There is a reason why I talk to this one in a more harsh and authoritative voice. I would explain it, but only I and one other person knows this. This spirit showed up uninvited and scared one of my others. And the conditions that he be allowed to stay is that he had to jump pendulums to another one, and he had to behave, or I would send him back home where he would be even in more trouble. So far, he has kept that promise. For how long, I don't know, because this is not the first time I've had to deal with him. Why he came back, only he knows. But his little bullshit stories don't fly with me. Do they? No. So, we have one more thing to do. That is Oh, a one card draw to see what our future holds. So, Telegrams is here. She loves it when I get these cards out. And if they flip through the air, it's because of Grams. Because she thinks it's funny. Don't you, Grams? She knows I can't shuffle them very good. So, even with practice, still having a very hard time. And as you can see, they're sliding. Well, that wasn't too bad. Grams, that was not funny. Now they're all missed. Okay. I'll carry on you. See, now you got all these cards messed up. Okay, well, I guess we'll just have to deal with them that way. So I'm not in the mood to straighten them all out. So. So yeah, half of them are upside down the wrong way. Not unusual. So, we're going to take, oh, there's that one. That one. That one. Okay. This will be, maybe not. This will be the first stack. We'll do this in threes. This will be the third stack. And this will be the last, the third stack. So, my unwanted guest, do you want a card from this pile? No? Okay. Do you want one from this pile? No. is there one in this pile? Okay. Let me know which card it is. This one? Okay. And the card that my unwanted guest pulled is Ace of Wands. And I will be right back. It is in the upright position. It is not in reverse. Okay. In its upright position, this ace indicates the beginning of an enterprise, usually involving business, the arts, or finance. It shows that you have planted the seeds for a new birth. possibly a creative or money-making ideal. You are now free from restraints that have hampered you in the past, able to express yourself successfully, take on a new role, and forge a new identity through your work. So, for us, that means that things that were bothering us have all been taken care of. Everything is taking its natural course. We have planted the correct seed to start a new birth. Hopefully, this new birth would take us far and beyond our wildest dreams. This card that I pulled was for myself and my girls. We were wondering what the next phase of our group would take, and it looks like we have built an honest reputation on telling the truth by supporting each other with love, by weeding out those that would do harm to us. So, girls, looks like we made it. And with that, to all my girls, I love you very much. This has been a very scary reading. As I said, our moon is veiled with clouds from the hurricane that is hitting the East Coast. We have not felt the effects of it. Before I leave, good night, board. I will wake you when I need you again. We've had tremendous success, my beautiful ladies and I. I have to say that these girls were handpicked by a very special person. And I believe this person knew what he was doing. We had no one. And we found each other. We've gone through many aspects of having other girls with us that didn't work out. Some left for no reason. We don't know why. Some became obsessed with certain things that didn't make sense. To do this type of work, it takes a lot of concentration, a lot of love, a lot of hope. And right now, as my girls are sleeping and waiting for the new day, in preparation to this, they had already lit their candles. They had already said their prayers. They didn't even have to be asked. It was just instant. And they did it, just like they did on the last one. Without their gifts and their powers, sending me that strength and that love, tonight would have been a night that I would have never pulled off. Not with what I was seeing coming at me. My orbs get to dancing. The fog is rolling in. Usually that is a very bad sign for this neighborhood. And when it rolls in like that, people die, shootings start. And it's a horrible time for the neighborhood. There's just too many children who need to be protected and watched over. I try my best to do that, because when it comes to children, they are the #1 priority. And I'm sure, or I do know in my heart, that my girls would say the same thing. Our children are our most precious resource that we have. So, with that, I'm going to go. Going to see how this new phone does, even though I don't like it. But I love all of you. I love my ladies. As I said, they were handpicked. We are a team and a force to be reckoned with, as we joke. And we will be working on several videos between now and the Hunter's Moon in October, which I'm not sure what date that's on, but some have said it's right around, as you would put it, Halloween, which we all know that is when the veil is the thinnest between the living and the dead. So until then, everybody have a good night. Say prayers for those that are still left on that mountain, that somebody will finally get the guts to go up there and bring those precious souls home, so that they can be reunited with their families, their loved ones, that they don't have to spend the next 50 or 60 years up there alone. And if the San Bernardino County is watching these videos, please get up and go get them. Even if you have to take one body down at a time and do a DNA on whatever's left, find their families, please. Good night, everyone.